Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
Hey, listeners, we've realised something. Well, we were told it by someone.
Cat
Told us. And it's a little bit embarrassing that we hadn't thought of it before, quite frankly. We tell you to piss off if you haven't listened or watched what we're going to talk about. And Kat pointed out to us that if you then go and piss off, you don't actually find out what we're going to be doing the week after.
Yeah.
So we're going to change it up slightly. So this time, we're going to tell you, and from now on, we'll be telling you what we're doing in the next show before we do spoilers for whatever we did this time.
Okay, that sounds smart.
Yeah, thank you for telling us that, Kat. You are smarter than us.
Right, on the next episode of Nerd on Nerd, we are going to have a very special guest. Who is it? I don't know. Maybe Jack can tell us.
Some of you who've watched us do Blabs may remember our guest as the gentleman who came on and ran a little game show for us. And that person is Dan Palmer, one of my childhood friends.
So, listen in next time for, I'm sure, lots of gossip on Jack as a child.
Probably not. I don't think I was very interesting as a child.
Not a lot changed then.
Yep.
And what's the thing we're going to do?
Dan is quite the connoisseur of cartoons. So next time we're doing a 90s cartoon called Ren and Stimpy, which I have seen bits of before as a kid, but have never properly watched.
I've never watched it. I didn't have Cartoon Network as a kid, and I think that's the sort of shit it was on.
I think it was on Nickelodeon.
I didn't have that either.
Yeah,
I had your
either.
4, maybe 5 normal channels, and that was it.
I think it must have run on other stuff because I didn't have any networky channels as a kid either.
Maybe you saw it at a friend's house.
Yeah, possibly actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go, listeners. So if you're going to go away when we start talking about The Division, next time we'll be talking about Ren and Stimpy with a special guest.
Yeah.
Yay!
So we're about to talk about The Division now, but before that, any correspondence this week from our lovely listeners?
Yes! One of our fellow podcasts, 365 Flicks podcast, asked us about the Game of Thrones premiere, so we've done that for them. There we go.
So, time for what you've been waiting for, probably not. The Division.
Yeah.
Tom Clancy. What other games has he done? Because I don't know.
Rainbow Six.
I haven't played that.
Splinter Cell.
Haven't played that.
Jesus Christ. He had that game about flying a plane.
Haven't played that.
Okay.
So I'm new to Tom Clancy, I think.
Well, this isn't a traditional Tom Clancy game.
So Tom Clancy's The Division, right?
Yes.
It's a game on PlayStation.
Yep.
Not as much maths as you might suspect.
That's a terrible joke. Oh, Liam. It took me a second as well as the embarrassing thing. I was like, what? Yeah, so listeners, we played this. We agreed, because we'd both played a little bit before.
Yeah.
But we agreed we'd start new characters.
And play together. Because,
yeah.
It's an MMORPG type of game. No,
it's not an MMORPG, it's an MMOFPS, I guess.
Yeah. It's like the kissing cousin of Destiny.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to talk about this game without comparing it to Destiny.
So that is our mission.
Really?
No.
I'm sort of relying on comparing it to Destiny.
Okay, so there aren't so much classes really. There kind of are, but the way we played it was a moot point because you refused to play as your class. So,
listeners, Liam refuses to understand how the Division works. In that there are 3 primary
classes,
tiers of skills you can take.
Healer.
Each one of them is themed to a different
DPS.
Role. So security.
And tank.
There's the security tree, the support tree, and is it called medic?
Yeah.
Medic tree. The medic, obviously focuses on having healing abilities, and it's got a thing that shows up enemies.
So I think people that have played MMOs before would know this as the healer, the DPS, and the tank.
Yeah, but that isn't what they are.
Okay.
Because the security one was the DPS. The support was more like the witch doctor in WoW.
What, the shaman?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The shaman. Yeah, it's more support and summoner.
Mm.
It has turrets. It's not about DPS, because none of the abilities boost your damage. The security has all the damage boosting abilities.
So where's the tank then?
There isn't one. Fuck's sake. I had real hope for a second there when you went, yeah, so it's not traditional in that there are classes. I had so much hope. I was like, oh, maybe Liam actually learnt before we did the episode. Maybe Liam figured it out. And then, fuck you, did you? No.
No.
I hate you.
So
I'm going to leave that bit in, my mental breakdown.
So, Destiny, right? Let's compare it to Destiny. With Destiny,
we're talking about the classes!
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Destiny classes. Okay. So,
go on.
With the Destiny classes, you have the Titan.
Yes.
Which is like the tank. Do you have a healer class in Destiny? Not really.
No.
So that's where there's a big difference, really. In this one, you don't have a tank. And in Destiny, you don't have a healer. That's a big difference.
Yeah, but with the thing with MMO FPS games is that it's not as clear cut as that.
No, it's a bit
because the whole point of like an MMO is you are meant to have a group that's built of varying roles.
Yeah, it helps.
Both of these games, Destiny and The Division, because Destiny had the subclass option.
Yeah, and
you could specialize into totally like different things. So the way I view them is there are roles to fill, but it's not the 3 clear cut roles.
Yeah,
it's more about complementing the people you're with.
But anytime I said you looked good, it didn't help us take the boss down.
Yeah, but I did look fucking good. That is something we need to talk about. Okay. The Division has clothes that you can wear that give you no bonuses but make you look fancy as fuck.
Yeah, but they did not help us take the boss down.
I feel like there were a couple of moments that he was distracted by my brilliance.
Okay.
I'm sure he looked at that orange coat and he was like, this guy, he's the one.
Yeah.
But anyway, going on with your point of the Destiny classes
and
the Division classes.
Yes.
I think, so we didn't necessarily play it, because with only 2 of you, you haven't got that. I think the max team was 4.
Something like that.
And I feel like if you have that, you could have, someone doing... So you take someone with that sensor ability that lets you pick up enemies, right?
Yeah.
You maybe give him the other healing ability or something else, like a sticky bomb, whatever. Yeah. I'm sure you can do it totally different ways, and there are probably people that are doing...
Well, it is worth pointing out that you can dip in between classes. It's not like once you're medic, you're committed to just those options.
When you unlock an ability by spending resources at your base of operations, which is individual to you, you just unlock that skill, and there's no like fixed... When you put the equivalent of a skill point into unlocking something and actually putting it on your character, you can just switch that out at any time for any of the other ones you've bought.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more fluid, and I feel like we could have benefited from switching stuff on the fly.
Probably.
But I was super addicted to putting down turrets.
Yeah, you were all about the turrets.
I love that turret.
I quite like the pulse. I feel like my medic ability saved us on more than one occasion.
It did. To be fair, your that support station thing was pretty good.
Yeah. And then when I swapped out the pulse for the sticky bomb, I had some fun, but not as much fun as I had on my one player, because the sticky bomb, my gear wasn't kind of
you weren't
equipped.
speccing into doing sticky bomb damage.
Yeah, so it wasn't taking out enemies in one hit like my single player character did.
Yeah, so we should probably explain that when you put on gear in Division, it gives you a certain amount of points into each of the 3 classes effectively.
Yeah.
And one of them specifically boosts your like skill damage or your skill effects. One of them does sidearm damage, which is next to useless. And one of them does your max health.
Yeah.
So that's,
So, tell me, Jack.
Yes.
Why are we going around and shooting all these people and, what's the story?
Well, the story is there's been an outbreak of some virus that's being spread through money, and it's wiped out a lot of the population of New York. And, of course, as soon as that happens... all of the rioters start rioting, and people with flamethrowers appear, obviously. So we're trying to fix it. We're the Division.
And, we did quite a good job, I think.
Liam insisted on cleaning up New York in interesting ways, whereas I was very much, let's clear up New York by taking out the bad guys. Liam was very much, let's clear up New York because they appear to have left loot everywhere and we should get all of it.
Yeah.
Which, it worked in some situations. It was frustrating in others.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there were a couple of times where we were in a mission that probably should have taken 20 minutes and ended up taking us like 40.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
No, it is. Yeah. What do you think of the graphics?
Yeah, well, this is your big issue, isn't it? Or one of your big issues.
It's not a big issue. I just found the environment to be quite grey and drab.
You weren't a fan of the style they'd gone for?
No, it wasn't the style so much. It had really nice lighting effects, but, to me, like, the graphics were nothing to write home about. Like, the visuals, the aesthetics, it was just...
Yeah, I don't know if you mean graphics, though.
I mean, all of it...
Do you actually mean, like, graphic quality?
Everything I looked at with my eyes.
Because
also...
when you were complaining to me about graphics before, the stuff you were saying was all aesthetic stuff and not the graphics.
Like, the graphics are fine, but they're nothing to write home... Like, so with a PlayStation 4, I've seen better looking games.
Yeah, okay, I'd agree with that.
I think Destiny is better looking, personally.
I don't think I agree on that one particularly.
Yep.
Liam, let's boil this down. What did you enjoy about The Division?
The Dark Zone.
Yes.
That was really good.
The Dark Zone was very good. It's an interesting idea.
So let us explain the Dark Zone for anyone that maybe is unaware of the Dark Zone. Basically, in The Division, you have the city of New York that you're rebuilding, and it's kind of broken up into areas with levels. So as you progress through the game, you can kind of figure out where you should and shouldn't be. Now, the Dark Zone opens up at... I think you go there at any time, but the level recommended for you is it 10 to 14?
Yeah, the first area was 10 to 14.
So once you hit that, you can go into it, and basically, this is kind of like The Division's PvP of a sort. There's also like computer enemies there too.
Yeah.
And what happens is you go into the Dark Zone, and if you shoot another player, which you can do, and you can take their loot, you would also become rogue, and other players would be alerted to what you've done. Now, you can also just shoot normal computer characters and take their loot, but then what you need to do is you need to extract that loot from the Dark Zone. And I think it's such a tense experience because you never know who you can really trust. You're always looking over your shoulder sort of thing. It's just far and away superior to the rest of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, do you want to tell the people about our horrible experience?
Yeah, go on then.
Do you want to, or shall I?
You do it.
So, I mean, we went in there once under-leveled. We went in at, I think, level 8 or 9.
Yeah. I mean, we did a little bit, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, we got killed a lot, and there weren't any players there because we weren't in a level range that other players were in, was the issue.
Which definitely helped us in not getting killed
so we went off. Oh, yeah, 100%. But so we went off, we leveled, we got to level 12, and we were like, let's go back to the Dark Zone. And we went in, and we saw players, and we were like, oh, that's interesting. We had a couple that were rogue that tried to kill us. We had, some ones that sort of walked past us. It was all very stressful. But we got some loot, and we headed to the extraction zone. And me being a very trusting fellow, we saw 4, would you say, Liam? 4 other players, maybe?
Yep.
They were calling in an extraction.
And they all looked like they were cooperating.
They did. Everyone was being very friendly. I threw a salute. No one saluted back, but I didn't take it as an offensive thing. I just said, hey, they probably didn't notice. It's fine. As we were going to put our loot on the rope, 2 of them immediately bombed everyone and then slaughtered the rest of us like we were mindless sheep. And I think I sat in silence for a good couple of minutes.
I just kept saying it was all a ruse. It was a cunning ruse.
You did. We were both emotionally shocked, I think, by what had happened.
I very quickly wanted blood and vengeance.
And I joined you in that lust for vengeance.
Eventually. You took a bit of persuading.
No, at the beginning. No. At the beginning, I joined you in your lust for vengeance. It was later on that I lost my thirst for it as we kept repeatedly being killed by the same 2 people who were 2 levels lower than us, Liam. I don't understand it.
My thirst for vengeance was not satiated.
It wasn't. We got into a little bit of a war with these 2 fellows. We nearly killed them a couple of times. We
did kill them a couple of times.
We took one of them down. Oh, yeah, we did take one of them down once. But we never killed both of them at the same time, did we?
That's probably where we went wrong.
I mean, we'd get one down, kill him, and then the other one would kill us. But Liam then insisted that we had to keep killing them.
For the greater good.
After we'd got that kill, I was like, I think we're done with it, Liam. I think we need to go get loot. I think we tried maybe 2 more times before I finally convinced Liam that we'd just go round them.
Yeah.
And in the end, we did get, after that betrayal, and, immediately after that, stopping trusting anyone in that game, we got some items.
Yeah, from the Dark Zone.
It was fun. But that really revealed to me that I can never trust anyone in my life ever again.
No. And I think that's a good lesson to have learned, really.
Yeah, if I take anything away from The Division, I hope it's that I can't trust people.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Anything else about The Division that you liked or didn't like?
Well, I didn't mind the actual main stuff.
Yeah.
I was more a fan of The Division than you were.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not necessarily true, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I really like my single-player character, and playing a Division on my own.
But that's weird. Like you say, it's not a single-player game.
No, it's not. I think we have very different play styles.
We do.
And I struggled with yours.
I also struggled with yours.
Yeah, but equally, mine, you can kind of let that happen. But yours was just, we need to continue and just do the missions. And it's like,
you say I can let yours happen, but what happened?
No, but if I go off to go exploring and you're like, I'm just going to do the mission, then I miss out on having the mission done. So I kind of have to stop exploring and come along.
If I carried on doing objectives, it did them for you too. There were a couple of missions where you skipped
freeloading.
a whole chunk of the mission while you were trying to get loot, and I completed like half the mission for you.
Yeah, that's freeloading. I don't like doing that.
Yeah, so listeners, the issue was, and I'm not saying your way's wrong or my way's wrong.
No, but both ways are viable.
Yeah, Liam really likes exploring every nook and cranny.
Yeah. I like being quite adventurous as well. Like, there was definitely some instances where I was like, we should go into this area. And you were like, oh no, it's too high for us, I don't want to. It's like, well, okay then.
Yeah, like when we went to the Dark Zone and got killed the first time.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that sort of stuff. I like...
Oh yeah, no, it was fun. I don't disagree, it's fun. I was just like, we're trying to review this for the fans. I feel like we should be trying to actually... Like, on my single player one, I'd be a lot more up for going and doing that stuff. It was just the fact that I was very aware that we were on a time limit. Like, we had 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
Like, but I still do play a lot differently than you. Even when I would, even if I wasn't doing that, I still would have been playing a lot differently to you.
What would you say the differences are? So
you're very much into exploring everything.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a room on the map that Liam hasn't been in, Liam has to go and see it to make sure there's nothing in it.
Well, people created that room, right? They probably spent a lot of time and effort building
the
that
thing
room,
is, they probably did
it there, putting things inside the room, bug testing the room.
Although, I feel like overall, there were more empty rooms than there were rooms with stuff in them.
Well, if every room had stuff in it, it would be mental.
Because I do remember distinctly, like, eventually, because I'm not saying... Because Liam found stuff. There were times where Liam found us a crate of blue items in it, which are
good stuff.
Yeah, which was the decent gear. Yeah. But the issue was that most of the time that happens outside of missions. Like, there were times that it was in a mission.
Yes, there were.
There was a couple. Yes. Usually, though, the mission gives you the blue stuff when you finish it, and the boss drops it, or it's in a crate behind the boss.
Yeah, but having more blue stuff's never bad.
No, you're right. But what Liam does is does it to the point where he nearly dies repeatedly. So the memorable example of that would be there was a mission where we beat the boss and there were quite a few rooms on that map. So Liam said, I'm going to go check, see if there's any loot. I said, fine, I'm going to go wait for you in the elevator. Now, at the end of that mission, the building you're in sets on fire and you are told in no short terms to get out of the building because it's all going to explode and it's all on fire.
But there were unexplored rooms.
There were. So I stood in the elevator and my screen slowly got more orange. It was getting more and more orange. And then Liam suddenly said to me, the room is on fire. And I said, well, I'm going to go then. So I just pressed the elevator button and left.
Teamwork.
I can't help you if you're on fire in a burning building that we've been told to leave. You didn't die, to your credit.
No, I used all my medkits.
You used all your medkits and had to put down your aid station to heal yourself as you ran to the elevator.
Yes.
But yes, that was an example of where Liam's exploration failed him.
Yeah, but a lot of times it didn't.
No, a lot of times it didn't.
But I think the lack of classes, and maybe this is just a problem that you're going to get with MMO FPSs, is detrimental to the game. Because, may I tell a short story, Jack?
Yes, Liam.
One of my favourite ever MMO experiences, was playing World of Warcraft, and I have a friend who's massively into his MMOs, and we had characters on the same World of Warcraft server, and we both decided to roll druids. And the idea was, all we wanted to do was just for the fun of it, see how much we could two-man without anyone's help.
Okay.
And there's a dungeon quite early on in World of Warcraft. I think it's like level 14, called the Dead Mines. It's one of the first dungeons you ever go to.
Okay.
So it's meant for 5 players. At level 14, it's meant for 5 players. We tried to two-man it. Now, with another 3 players, you could have probably got through that dungeon in maybe 40 minutes tops. We were there for 4 hours, just working our way through it. We finally get to the boss, okay? And, it's been a struggle. There's been a few deaths along the way, but we get there. And what's good about the druid is it's flexible. You can change its class, essentially, so you can go from tank to healer.
Okay.
We get to the final boss. It probably takes us an hour of he'll go into the tank form, I'll heal. When my mana runs out, we'd swap round. I'd jump into the tank form, taunt the boss, he'd heal. It took us an hour to just take this boss down, just the 2 of us. But we did it, and, we could have easily done it with a group, and it wouldn't take half as much time. But that is one of my very favourite gaming memories ever, just because that sense of achievement of the 2 of us doing it together. And I think with something like Destiny or The Division, where you don't have those classes, it's a lot harder to have those kind of experiences where you're kind of pushing what you can do within the game.
Okay, well, so from my perspective, right, I'm not the biggest fan of these sort of games. As much as I liked The Division, I'm very put off by MMOs in general. Like, I just don't have the kind of brain that gets hooked on them.
Yeah, because I guess the kind of brain is basically I need the better loot sort of constantly.
Yeah, which I like getting better loot, but I prefer a story.
Yeah.
Right? So, so from coming from that perspective, from what I've seen of people doing, and so listeners, we didn't get to the point, obviously, in 2 weeks. Well, I guess if we'd played like non-stop, we could have. But raids have been introduced to Destiny, which are effectively...
The Division.
Division. Yep. But yeah, so raids have been introduced, which are effectively the dungeons, or are they called raids in World of Warcraft?
Yeah, no, you get raids as well.
Oh, okay, so yeah, they're just called raids. But like,
there's also a raid in Destiny.
Yes,
don't forget.
I think there might be 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, me and my same friend, tried the Vault of Glass 2-man. It went terribly.
Yeah,
we died on
but that's what I'm saying, right? Is that I've seen videos on the gaming sites of people doing specific runs of the Vault of Glass and stuff in Destiny.
Yeah.
So I think you can get it, because I think you're worrying too much about the class, or not worrying about it.
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying,
like, the wrong word. I think you're too fixated on it. Maybe I'm trying to think of a word that's not horribly negative.
I wouldn't even say fixated. Like, I prefer the way the class system works in Destiny to the Division. I think because here's the thing: because with the Division, like you were saying, you can swap between classes so fluidly and easily. It doesn't kind of choosing a class doesn't really have an impact on how you play the game. Whereas with Destiny, you choose your class at the start and you can't swap that. And depending on what class you choose will affect how you play the game somewhat.
Yeah, but
with the Division, the class is irrelevant pretty much, because you can just swap to whatever you want at any time.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? So it's irrelevant in the fact that there's not a choice of what class you're going to be, but there are choices in how you play based on like what weapon you've got, what skills you've taken.
Yeah.
So whilst yes, there is no class choice, people are going to naturally find themselves drawn to certain things.
Here's the thing: I don't often play as a sniper because I don't like it, and I'm not very good at it. But it almost feels like with the Division, it really punishes you if you try and do close combat, like shotguns.
I don't think.
Like, I love, like, so for example in Destiny I was the Titan, which is all about just storming in. Like, that's a lot of melee damage. Mm-hmm. That's my playstyle. So I was trying a different playstyle with the snipers and stuff once it became very clear in the Division that close range, forget it.
I disagree though, because at the end I had that submachine gun.
Yeah, which you can still keep a bit of distance.
No, but I was running in. You do have to keep some distance, but that's because the game's tactical and not... Like, because Destiny's very forgiving in that you can stand in a hail of fire and you've got a shield and it's fine. Because it's meant to be. It's made by the people that made Halo.
Yeah. From
that sort of thing. You know, apart from ODST. So, the whole point is you're a superhuman. Division is you're meant to be people.
Who made the Division? What else have they made? Possibly.
That's fine. Oh, it's Ubisoft. It's Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah. They do Tony Hawk's.
Yeah, they also did Assassin's Creed. There's a lot of different like subdivisions of Ubisoft.
So one thing that did bother me about the Division, I eventually got used to it, but it bothered me at the start for a while, is everywhere on the screen is that there's button prompts. So you go up against a wall and you've got the button prompt for crouching. And I get, like, for the tutorial, fine. But by, like, we'd played for, I think, 11 hours by the end, I'd kind of figured out what walls I couldn't crouch behind, and having the X appear all the time was super annoying.
I thought you meant, yeah. I thought you were saying actual crouching, and I was like, I didn't have that, but I see what you mean, getting into cover and stuff.
Yeah, into cover. And equally, like, the circle would appear for anything you could climb onto.
Yeah, but I don't think it wasn't particularly intrusive.
It just bothered me. I didn't need it, and I wish there was a way to turn it off. That's all I was asking for.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. You know, if people want it, fair play. I'm all about options at the end of the day. And other things. Movies.
Yeah.
Other games.
Become quite apparent.
I think the other thing as well, I played a lot of Uncharted recently, and obviously that is all about exploring.
Yeah.
So maybe that kind of trickled into my Destiny, my Division experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Dark Zone stuff felt like it almost came from another game. It was so much better.
The Dark Zone is really interesting. It's a really cool idea.
And I am curious how raids work,
yeah.
But I can't see either of us committing to get into like max level to then try.
I think I'm going to carry on playing.
If you get to max level, I'll probably be there waiting. But until then, I ain't going to hold my breath.
We'll see.
But the other thing is, I wonder if missions scale difficulty to how many people there are, because I have yet to struggle at all in my single player guy.
I think they probably do.
And I've done the same missions that we've done that we struggled with, and I was like, nah, I got this. I got my sticky bomb. Boom, job done.
Yeah, I think it probably does scale the difficulty based on number of players.
I wonder if it also scales the reward then.
I know it does for if you put it on the challenge difficulty, you get better stuff.
Yeah, but that again, I think you meant to do it max level.
Yeah, or at least a higher level. It definitely seemed.
So, are you gonna stick to your single character or continue with your character?
I'll probably play both of them. To be fair.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's not much difference except the one that I played with you is a higher level.
Yeah. My character that I played with you does look better than my single character.
Liam's character was exceptional. It was a work of art.
It really was.
He looked like he belonged in a Japanese anime.
Yeah. But my main character, I've actually managed to make look quite a lot like me. So just out of vanity, I'll probably stick with him.
That's fair enough.
He's a sexy looking guy.
I do prefer the clothes that my character I have with you has.
I think the clothes are across characters.
Are they?
I think so.
Sweet.
If not, just stick him in the player stash.
That's true.
Now, that's another thing that I was thinking about. When you extract stuff from the Dark Zone, it goes into your player stash. So you could be extracting stuff for your other characters.
Yeah. But they do have they have level caps on the weapons?
Right, I'm saying, when you get an item from the Dark Zone, that should be tied to the character you got the item from.
Oh, okay.
You shouldn't be able to swap the items between your characters. Because I feel like the Dark Zone's so good that, like you said, I wouldn't want to go in there, get a load of good shit, and then, even though there's still levels on it, pass it off to someone that hasn't gone into the Dark Zone.
But it's your character that you're passing it off to.
I would prefer them to be, like, the items you get to be constricted to the character you got them with in the Dark Zone.
Okay, I disagree.
Well, that's the thing about Nerd on Nerd.
Is that we don't agree on anything?
Yeah. No, we agree on some things.
Yeah, we do agree on certain things. People in cinemas being dicks.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, you've been listening to Nerd on Nerd, discussing The Division, available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, maybe?
Yeah, it is on PC as well, yeah.
Next week, as you might remember, but we'll just remind you, we're doing Ren and Stimpy, as suggested by our very special guest.
Yeah, the first 6 episodes.
Yeah, so if you'd like to play along, email us your thoughts. Like, maybe you've got, like, some fond, nostalgic memories of Ren and Stimpy that you could kind of message over to us. You've been listening to the Nerd on Nerd podcast with me, Liam Underwood.
And me, Jack Kempster.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to rate and review us on iTunes, 5 stars, that's pretty good. 4 stars, also good. 3 stars,
we'll accept it, but...
Yeah, but like anything less, don't bother. And leave a little review, just saying how good we are. That will just help our egos, really.
His ego.
You can follow us on Twitter, @NerdOnNerd. And we've been saying to you for a while now, you should email us. Here's how. You just open up your email browser. Maybe you're old school, Hotmail. Maybe you're one of those new kids, Gmail. Maybe you're just weird and you have like Yahoo or something. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. And then you type new to create like a new message. And under 2, put nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Subject, doesn't matter. I mean, we get so few emails come in, we'll see it anyway. And then in like the body, just type your message and we'll read it probably on the next one. If it's a good message, if you ask us questions or, want to confess to us anything, we might even send you a little personalised email response as a treat. That's kind of how emails work. So you can do that. Otherwise, we also have a Facebook page. So you can find us on Facebook. If you just type in Nerd on Nerd, it's bound to come up. And stay tuned, because soonish we're going to have a YouTube channel. And you're going to have these episodes on YouTube. There'll be nothing extra. It'll just be these episodes with like a normal box standard image. But we might also have new content like Nerd on Nerd plays Dungeons and Dragons, for example.
Yep.
So, if you follow our Facebook and our Twitter, then regardless of which one we post it to, you're bound to find the link. So, do that. And otherwise, stay safe. Have a good couple of weeks. And hopefully you enjoyed this. And we'll see you again. Now, quickly, Jack, what would you give The Division out of 5?
The Division gets a 4 out of 5. Liam, you?
3.
Bye.
Bye.